Mechanical Turk started the game with pawn to e4. Then we have pawn to e5 and then pawn to f4. Pawn takes and bishop to c4. Attacking on this pawn. Pawn to c6. Black played this move because it wanted to play pawn to d5, and if white takes, pawn will takes. Bishop can't take the pawn because it is protected by the queen, and black will have the control of the center. Black goes for knight to f3, knight to f6, attacking on this pawn and supporting this pawn for pawn to d5. Then knight to c3, controlling the squares, and then pawn to d5. Takes, and white plays bishop to b5 check. Black goes for knight to c6. Then Mechanical Turk plays queen to e2, and Chessjilla plays bishop to e6. See, Chessjilla two pieces are pinned. This bishop with queen, and this knight with bishop. Then Mechanical plays knight to g5, putting double pressure. Chessjilla goes for bishop to e7, so it can castle. Knight takes, and then pawn to d4, blocking this pawn from coming forward. Then queen to d6, supporting this pawn. Bishop takes knight and give check. Pawn takes back, kingside castle, and then pawn to g5. Initially this pawn was attacked by one piece and also protected by one piece. But after kingside castle, this rook is also attacking this pawn. That's why Chessjilla plays pawn to g5. Pawn to g3. Black cannot take this pawn, otherwise rook will take, bishop take, and queen here check, and the king will be in big trouble. That's why Chessjilla brings his rook to open file. Pawn takes, kingside castle, and pawn takes again. Then we have knight to d7, rook takes, and then bishop to e3. Then bishop to e3, developing and supporting this pawn. Pawn to e5, again rook f1, rook takes, and queen takes. Then we have queen to e6, because the queen will come here and give check. King to h1, pawn takes pawn, and both pieces will be trapped. Bishop can't take this pawn because it is protected by queen. That's why Mechanical Turk plays queen to e2, queen to f5, putting double pressure on the pawn. Queen f2, queen gives check, and this position keeps repeating and game ends up in a draw.